Destructoids at E3.
The boys are back. The boys are back. The boys are back. Hello everybody, we are Destructoid and we are back again. Finally, the E3 press conferences are over, and for the second year in a row, Sony saves everything. Jesus Christ, they've actually announced new video games. Who would have thought at E3 you would announce new games and not just show the same old shit for 2 hours? Holy crap, they started with God of War.
Which we didn't even know it was God of War.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like The Last of Us. We thought it was Horizon Zero Dawn because there was a small boy in like gross, dirty clothes. But so God of War is now. First of all, they're doing where you remake the game and just call it God of War, which is annoying. Yeah. But on the other hand, it basically kind of seems like The Last of Us. Kratos has a beard and is a dad now, but like a really asshole dad who like yells at his 9-year-old for not being able to kill a deer
and for shooting him in the shoulder with an arrow.
I mean, I would yell at my 9-year-old for shooting me in the shoulder with an arrow.
Shouldn't even have an arrow.
But it's a huge departure for God of War because it's not that action game camera way up high. It's behind the back, more like Batman Arkham. And of course the dynamic leads to The Last of Us comparisons with the dad and son and everything. And then the world is pretty different too. Like there's these mystical creatures, there was a giant. It ends on a dragon flying through the sky.
That was strange.
And it's like a snowy area. So unless he left Sparta and kind of went into like the Swiss Alps, it seems to be a hugely different setting. Even though there's like the Spartan rage is still there.
Yeah. So do you think that giant that he fought? Do you think that was supposed to be a significant moment, or do you think that was supposed to be a pretty standard moment for the game?
It's hard to say because
I would think mini boss.
Yeah, because they did have other fighting things before that, but they were all large and imposing, which did feel a little different than like, oh, there's a bunch of junk enemies you can beat up. It was like, here's 4 like pretty scary looking monsters to fight. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that, you know, after Ascension especially, like that is what I needed to get invested in another God of War. Is just for them to do something pretty different.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about that. And then The Last Guardian has a release date.
Finally.
I mean,
it's almost a decade since they started that game, and it's been about 8 years since they revealed it at E3.
It would have been great if they were like October whatever 2006, and then the 0 and the 2006 changed to a 1. And they were like,
I mean, sound the alarm. Like, it is actually happening. This game is coming out in a few months. And they introduced so it's called The Last Guardian, but hold the phone. I saw a black feather monster that looked exactly like the Boyz Guardian.
There was a shot of 2 of them kind of confronting each other on like a bridge. So there are definitely 2 of them.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of intrigue that they're kind of finally throwing at us a little bit more.
The Last Guardian in 2026. No, the second The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
This is The Last Guardian.
The Lastest Guardian.
We also had a brand new game from Bend, who we haven't heard from in a long time. I mean, unless
someone in our comments was like, they did Bubsy 3D. Do not believe them, which I think we can forgive.
Okay,
that.
so
What's in their portfolio?
Siphon Filter.
And it's it's a Sony owned. It's a Sony studio.
Well, so the thing is, the first trailer they showed for that game looked like this weird, like Easy Rider motorcycle dad in the apocalypse thing, and it was kind of like, eh. And then at the end of the conference, they went out showing live played gameplay. God of War also was played live, which is kind of cool. It's not pre-recorded.
Yeah.
They showed live gameplay, and the one impressive thing about, was it Days Gone?
Days Gone.
Yeah.
The one impressive thing was that there were just like huge hordes of zombie things, like actual, like hundreds just spilling out.
A lot of games do like some zombies at a time and they keep coming. This one was like, you almost can't pick out an individual zombie as they're running at you because they're it's a legitimate.
It's like a wave of Vaseline, but all the Vaseline wants to eat you.
Yes.
Yes,
it's a Vaseline zombie.
Speaking of Vaseline, there was some oil in the Sony conference.
There was some oil. A baby turned to oil after Norman Reedus hung some dong.
Where do you even like
start with that? I don't know.
Well, you start with the hanging dong.
I mean, you start with Hideo Kojima walking down a ramp as it slowly lights up under his feet, and he just goes,
"I'm back."
And then, a trailer for Death Stranding, which is going to be confusing as everyone tries to type Death Standing, but it's Death Stranding. And they brought back that Norman Reedus character model from PT, or made a new one maybe, I don't know, Konami probably owns it. But
That's a good point.
he was naked and had like 5 very thick dog tags and a baby attached to him via umbilical cord, which is usually reserved for women. Usually. It's fucking Kojima. It's gonna be great. I don't know what
We don't know
It's so
anything
insane.
about it other than that, which is exciting.
I mean, the same can be said for the other 2 really huge reveals, which is Resident Evil 7, which I know you are jazzed
Yeah, I'm
for.
super excited about
Yeah.
that. And it's got a weird PT influence that I didn't really expect.
It's first person.
Yeah, it's first person and not only VR, but VR looks like that's going to be the highlight.
Right, you
That's
can
what they're
play the
showing
full
here,
game
yeah.
in PlayStation VR.
Right, and a demo came out tonight, which I can't play yet.
Well, we'll play it this week.
Yes, tomorrow.
We'll play it, yeah.
I mean, like, it felt more like Silent Hill. Right?
Yeah, it did. It kind of had that spookier, like, paranormal vibe.
They were very,
There's a
like,
goddamn cockroach.
yeah,
there
the
was
same
a
PT
cockroach
cockroach.
in the hand,
Yeah.
and like a shadowy figure walk through
Yeah.
it, like kind of you saw the corner of your eye through a doorway.
Right.
Again, it feels like God of War. It feels like a really big departure from how Capcom's
Which
kind of been
is
spinning its
a good
wheels.
thing.
Which is
Yeah.
what we
Yes.
all wanted.
It's kind of how, well, they like kind of invented survival horror in the first place, but
No.
then,
So wrong.
oh,
They popularized.
Alone in the Dark.
Popularized.
That's
Yeah.
Popularized.
okay, they popularized it, Zach.
Sorry.
Sorry, very, very sorry. But more recently, the survival horror's kind of fallen off, and it's been remade by like these new indie groups and stuff like Outlast, and you probably know more that are
Probably
coming to mind
do.
right now. But it's interesting to see them adopt that influence and try to like take it back.
And I like that there was no narrative ties. Like, they weren't like, Leon's doing
Yeah.
cool stuff again.
Here's Wesker. He's
Yeah.
still around.
It was just like, here's some guy's hands.
Here's
I don't
a
know who the fuck
dirty
this
ass
is.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's like somebody who's really scared of dirty stuff, and
It's
it's just
just
it's a
the
game
end.
full of dirty things?
I would be into that actually. So
Different.
Dirty
I think
things.
I'd
The
be into
game.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was not the only VR thing. They announced Batman Arkham VR, which
we don't know what that
is.
is.
I don't. Yeah,
No
I don't know if it's
idea,
just
no
the
idea.
games in VR. There was a space
It was-
game set on Mars,
Yeah.
looking planet, very red,
There's a
alien monsters
there's
called
oh sorry.
Farscape.
Okay, that's just
Far Point.
Farpoint.
Yeah.
And
There's a Final Fantasy 15 VR tie-in where you play as
Prompto.
Prompto.
I was gonna say Noctis is the other dude, and you're
Yes.
one of his homies, and I had no idea what
Yeah.
his name was.
You are the
but,
homie.
which looks like a shooting gallery game
Yeah.
or something.
It's a novel.
Who knows?
Nobody said it would be good.
There was a Battlefront X-wing in the cockpit.
Yeah,
VR
Which
thing,
is like
which is
a layup.
Oh, speaking of, we got a release date for PlayStation VR. Do we have that already?
We had October.
Yeah, we had like a
kinda
time
hinted
frame.
at, but
Yeah,
October
yeah.
23rd, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was, or 13.
13,
400
$400 bucks.
400.
50 games planned this
This
year,
year.
VR capable. We were also all kind of like, oh, the new Call of Duty doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, I was actually impressed. It kind of had a Ratchet and Clank vibe with all the running on like
Right,
different
there's
gravity.
like gravity
Lost-
boots.
Zach just lost 90%.
No,
of
so
the
like, there's like a
players
grappling hook
back.
and then gravity boots to like walk on space debris.
Yeah,
the
I'm
dog,
into
the
that.
dog fighting to me was like not actually that cool, but
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of those games already, but like yeah, it's different. That's fine.
But I'd be cool to try it in VR too. Why not?
Sure,
Just
sure. And then of course
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Like
Which
so.
by
not-
Insomnia.
Right. So Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive developer, not the Sucker Punch developer who did Infamous, who was everybody thought was making a Spider-Man game. I was kind of
But-
disappointed. I don't think they used the Spider-Man font that was on the PlayStation 3.
I didn't.
They used a similar italic
yeah,
slanted
yeah,
font, but it
yeah.
was not the Spider-Man
Yeah.
font, and that's a bummer.
It makes me wonder what is Sucker Punch working on then? I mean,
Something.
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But
What I'm interested in, as far as Spider-Man goes, is the fact that Insomniac just got done making a game that's about flying above the world and like getting across a city super fast. So in Sunset Overdrive. So I'm curious to see what they can do with Spider-Man and like if they can kind of adopt that, but in a very tall skyscraper-filled New York and swinging webs. Because if they can get as many people thinking that like that feels just as rad as Sunset Overdrive, like we might have a really cool Spider-Man.
Just with better jokes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't-
no like fake punk rock,
I don't.
hot
we'll
topic
have- we
asshole
won't have that,
character.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Marvel will be there to be like, hey,
Right,
we
they're
need to make.
they're
you make-
partnering with
yeah.
Marvel.
Spider-Man used to be funny, maybe.
And I'm actually really stoked for the Crash Bandicoot remaster, especially after the Uncharted 4 Easter egg.
Wait, now was it a remaster or is it a remake?
The trilogy.
I know, but they said
first
remaster,
three.
but that's kind of a nebulous
Nah.
term.
I think it's.
I think it's
they
just-
made it seem like it's more substantial.
I
Than
thought so
just
too.
like
Well, because even
Up-resing it.
yeah, up-resing, we already have that on the PS.
Yeah, I think it's the full on.
Okay, cool.
Of course, we saw a lot more of Horizon Zero Dawn, which
is cool.
looks consistent, but also good. You know, I just being able to like hack into one of those robot animals and like ride it around, and there's kind of the scroll wheel for weapon selects and everything, and all the stuff at your disposal.
So I thought it was a really cool kind of contrast between we had just seen God of War's view on hunting, which was like this very poignant, like
yell at your son.
Kratos is like, shoot the deer, son, and stab him with a knife, and we're gonna eat his, I don't know, his deer meats. and then we go to Horizon Zero Dawn, and she's like, this is risky, but I need the components. She shoots a guy, she shoots like a thing, and then just like picks the components up immediately and scampers away.
It does have that weird like craftiness, very like video gamey, but it's an interesting setting, and there seems to be some cool mechanics at play. So I'm still interested for that. I think we should also mention the fact that the Resident Evil 7 logo
is the best.
Good. It's good.
They kind of like superimposed a 7 in Roman numerals into the evil. The word evil, and then in Biohazard, it's a 7 as part of the Z, which is a lot better than Resident Evil 6, which was a giraffe blowjob.
That's my
if you look at the logo, you'll definitely see that.
Yeah.
And not unsee it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the last major game was Detroit Become Human?
Yeah, no colons. I think it's just a phrase.
Detroit Become Human, but like no
Detroit.
comma.
You gotta say it
There's
quicker.
no comma.
The city become human.
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human.
Detroit Become Human.
Becoming or
which is Quantic Dream,
I'll keep becoming
the
human.
Heavy Rain developer.
David Cage's game.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. They showed a bunch of different ways an android could talk a hostage situation off of a roof.
You know what's a better name than that? Detroit.
Yeah, it is.
The original name
It
for
is.
that.
It really is.
Detroit.
But yeah, I think we all agree that Sony just really saved the two press conference days.
They had all these announcements, and it wasn't that long of a show.
Yeah,
it was
that
just
too.
one after the other, no filler, no talking.
That
Just
too.
the
It
trailer.
wasn't a lot of talking heads. A little bit.
little
You
tiny
got to
bit.
do that a little bit, but
Sure.
Very
it
briefly.
was maybe the best press conference in recent memory.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly.
it was up with Sony's press conference last year, which was just new games like Final Fantasy VII, Shenmue 3,
Yeah,
fucking
that's true.
Horizon
Last
Zero
Guardian.
Dawn, unveiling, Last Guardian's alive. All right, Zach, thumbs up, thumbs down, Sony.
Thumbs up for me, because like the little kid that's locked inside me is happy when games get actually announced. So yeah, thumbs up.
Jordan?
double.
Ooh.
Yeah. Kyle?
Double.
Brett?
Cheese dick thumb up.
All the thumbs, baby. Sony
1.5.
killed it. They killed it.
Great job.
That was great. All right.
The boys are leaving.
What's gone?